on the show this morning. I hope you're all doing very, very well. But of course, the big story we want to talk about here is, and it would be a shock deal, I don't think any of us were expecting to wake up to this morning, just in, PSG are close to reaching an agreement on personal terms with Jadon Sancho. And this is coming in from @Santi_J_FM, who's got nearly 3,000 followers on X, writes for Foot Mercato, which is a French outlet, come from absolutely nowhere this morning. And because of that, you almost feel like saying, well, hello, is this true? Because Stephen says, fantastic if true. Jamar says it won't happen. Patrick, welcome to the Members Club. I'm look, this is how we do it on here. It's real, it's, it's genuine and it's opinionated. And look, my opinion is that somebody mentioned this yesterday, and I wish I knew who it was. Podcast Passion says, do we have any news on Richard Rios? We will have news on Richard Rios. We are going to talk about him, but we're going to start off with the bigger news, which is Jadon Sancho. Thank you. If you want to start your own podcast, you've got a passion for it, Podcast Passion, you could lead on Richard Rios. But we're talking about Jadon Sancho first of all. So somebody said this yesterday morning, and I don't know whether they were in the know. I don't know whether they were just randomly throwing something out there. But if you're Jadon Sancho and you've got the choice of being fourth choice winger at Man United behind Ahmad, Garnacho and Rashford going into a season where you famously fell out with the manager, that's not a great season to go into, is it? You're behind Rashford, you're behind Garnacho, you're behind Ahmad, and not only that, you're not being brought into a new club where you've got a chance to fight against them. You're going back to the club where you refused to play for 3 months with a manager you didn't get on with. It's not the best environment to start a new season, is it? Fourth choice in a club that you sort of fell out with last year, where trust is probably not great. And on the other hand, you've got PSG in the Champions League who play, 70% of their games are like playing a pub team. You're going to cook. You can cook what you like. Beans on toast, lasagna, a vegetarian salad. You can cook what you like. I think if you're Jadon Sancho, PSG does probably appeal a little bit more than Man United, if it's true. And from PSG's point of view, I'd look at Jadon Sancho and go, comparative to, someone like Rafael Leao, who's going to cost you 100 million quid, Jadon Sancho has proven himself in the Bundesliga as a player that can do a lot of good. And you put him into a league that's a little bit of a pub league at times. And I'm not saying that, what I'm saying is Sancho in the Bundesliga is proven. And Sancho in the French league would be proven. I think he'd do well in that league because it's not as competitive as the Premier League. And I think he would be able to, adapt and do very, very well there. So I can see why the deal would happen. I'm just very shocked by it. I'm very shocked by this news this morning that apparently PSG are close to doing a deal with Jadon Sancho, because I think it would be a good deal for PSG. It's a very cheap price. I think it would be a good deal for Sancho as a fresh start, and he'd still get to play Champions League football. And I also think it would be a good deal for Man United to offload a player that realistically they probably want to offload. So it's tick, tick, tick. But I think tick, 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 boom. I said, what's that? Who sang that? Fresh Prince of Bel-Air? Jazzy Jeff? I say, tick, 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 boom. I said, yo, are you all ready for me yet? Pop it up, Chris. I mean, that's not my kind of music. But reality here is that as well, we've been aware from what Fabrizio said a few weeks ago that Man United and PSG are in a lot of conversations as well. So to that end, a lot of conversations can't just be Agate. What are the other conversations? Is it Xavi Simons? Is it Jadon Sancho? I think some people wanted it to be Rashford, but it's not going to be Rashford. It might be Sancho that they're talking about. I mean, look, what I will say about this is it's coming in from reports from France. It's coming in from a source that I'm not going to lie. I don't think this source is that great. It's been around for a long time. Some people always said it was Ronaldo's mouthpiece. But that in itself, I don't know whether that's true or not, but it could be George Mendes's mouthpiece then, because Ronaldo used to have him as an agent. And as we know, George Mendes this summer is running things. So, Sancho, PSG, you know, let's run a poll on it. But that is the breaking news this morning, that apparently PSG want Sancho. I don't know anything. A lot of people are saying, is this a loan deal? Is it a full-time deal? I don't think it really matters either way. I mean, obviously it would be great if it was a full-time deal, but realistically, I just think it would be great news for Ahmad if Jadon Sancho was out of the picture. I think it would make him, you know, higher profile. And, you know, maybe that's what this has all been about. Like, if you think about it, I'm just going to throw this out there. If you think about it with Sancho, 2 weeks ago, it was like, he'll never come back training to Carrington. And then a week and a half ago, he's going to be training back at Carrington. And then, you know, now we're getting stories about PSG. Maybe that was always the plan. Come back, train, smile, and you'll get more options. And that might be what it was all about. You know, let's just draw a line underneath it. Let's get you back in training. And I guarantee you, Jadon, you'll start getting more offers. And maybe that's what it was all about. But I guess we'll have to wait and see. The interesting thing is, we've not had any updates from a David Ornstein or a Fabrizio Romano on this yet. So I would still say that it could be bollocks, but we'll have to wait and see. But get your voting in the poll. 93% of you are saying yes. Great move by Eric and Ineos, putting Sancho back in the squad. Sancho was always going, says Barry. Well, I always thought that, didn't I? And I think a few of you agree with me. I always said, and I even said it at the weekend, I still think ultimately Sancho leaves Manchester United. Lookman says, even if Jadon is still in the Man United, Ahmad will start ahead of him, which is why I think Sancho himself needs to go. Steven says, selling Sancho to PSG would be the best possible outcome. Get him gone and get a decent price for him for other targets. Romano says 40 million for opening bid is expected, says Quir. Is that about Romano? Is that about Sancho? Because I haven't seen that. So if that's an update, then let us know if that is true. I mean, I can go looking for it. Michael Doherty says, I'm not bitter and would wish him all the best, but yes, sell him. Oh, yeah, mate. Look, life's too short. I think Sancho, somebody said last night, you've got an issue with Sancho. Well, I do. I have an issue with a player that refused to play for 3 months. Yeah, I do. Man United's more important to me than any manager or any player. And I do have an issue with him. And, he, you know, playing well in a pre-season game wasn't going to resolve that issue. He needed to turn up to training on time every day for the next 6 months, sit on the bench with a smile on his face and work his way into the first team, and then we wouldn't have an issue. And if that happens, there won't be an issue. But it's not forgive and forget. Like, he has got to come back and work really, really hard to win back a lot of United fans, myself included. And he can do that. Or he can leave. And I think leaving might be the best option. Mark, surely to challenge for the top trophies, we need a world-class striker, says Mark. Since when are we challenging for the top trophies, Mark? We're a work in progress. I don't think we're even talking about that. And by the time we're ready to win big trophies, who's to say that Xerxes or Rasmus won't be top class? Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.